Oh yeah, we have slam fire. It is truly amazing the amount of just pistol springers that have come out in the last like year and a half or so. There's just a ton of stuff out there. This right here is called the FireRat or the S200. This was sent to me for review by Zenduo Toys, and I'm gonna be taking a look at this today, get some chronograph readings, check out the accuracy, and also do a little debate or conversation, open up the conversation about how these two are kind of similar. Make sure to stick around for the full video so you can see my final thoughts on these blasters and whether or not you should pick up one of these. So let's jump right into the video. Now, the first thing to discuss is some of the things I did not like about this blaster, and that is the fact that this part up here was black. It's like, come on, make it orange at least. I don't know. Maybe there's gonna be an option in the future to change out with an orange part, but I went ahead and because we're so close to the DrFlux color scheme, I just did some neon yellow highlights here and there, and things great now. So there is that to consider. So if you're looking to pick up one of these and possibly take it to like a public game or whatnot, just keep in mind that black tip is not gonna be a good idea. Secondly, I wish this thing came with 2 magazines. This is a proprietary mag, so yeah, it's not compatible with Talons or anything like that. I will be checking to see if I can get more of these because I ideally like to have 3 mags with my pistol, so. And that's when I'm running it as a sidearm. Other than that, this thing is phenomenal. Like I'm just blown away at the build quality, how good this thing feels. The pistol grip is just perfect. I know a lot of that has to do with the proprietary mag, which is a little bit more thin than a Talon, which we can look at the Gecko. You can see that the angled Talon from the Gecko, that's a much fatter magazine, which results in a bigger pistol grip. So much better. However, you know, you got the whole compatibility thing, but you know, if I can get a few of these, I'll be happy. The feet per second, we'll go ahead and throw up some chronograph readings here. As you can see, this thing's hitting around, it's like upper 80s, maybe 90s or so. I've been told that there is an upgrade spring that you can put in this thing, so that's really cool. And also, I've heard mention or rumor of full metal parts. Let me know in the comment section if you've seen these metal parts or whatnot, because I went and tried to find links and I couldn't find any, so I don't know what's going on there. But I do have a friend, a local friend, that says he's got metal internals for this thing. And I think that would be amazing. I think this blaster with metal internals would probably be my #1 dependable sidearm. It was the Zinc 2.0 for a while. As you can see here, the Zinc has a really good profile and is a little bit more compact than this, which is cool. But there's something about this, just the kind of chunky nature of it. It's a little bit bigger and more like a, I don't know, it just feels so good. It's really difficult for me to pick one. I'm gonna go with this though because of the higher capacity. They both use a proprietary mag, so there's that. But yeah, higher capacity here. I think it's like 9 or something. We can load it up real quick. So it looks like they're fitting 12 in there, which that's really impressive. They're at an angle and that's how they're able to keep this slender profile. Yeah. So capacity is really nice, and that's why I would choose this over something else. Let's talk about operation real quick. This thing is a rear prime, and it automatically slaps forward, so you don't have to push it forward, which is really nice. And yeah, it's got a good little pop to it. The stock spring, like I said, was hitting around 90 FPS, so I would like to bring this up to about 110, 120. That would be kind of ideal for me. So hopefully I can get a good spring in here. We have a mag ejection on the side here. It has a nice little spring load to it, so it shoots out pretty nicely. Basically, operation of this blaster is flawless. I have no issues with it. Now, I had OptiMan come over and shoot some cups for me and give his overall impressions. He fell in love with this thing. He says it's a great blaster, and you know, we took it outside, shot cups at 30 feet. Very accurate, no issues there. I think this thing would actually be a pretty solid tagger at 50 feet. And that brings us to our next section, the Gecko. Now, just to clear any misunderstanding or confusion, these two blasters are very, very different. They have a similar operating mechanism on the inside. If you look, I have some footage of when I went to paint this tip. You could see that the catch release mechanism in here is very similar to the Gecko's. So I imagine it's got the similar concept where it redirects the airflow, similar to what you see in a Lynx. So in that regard, you know, it is very similar to the Gecko. Other than that, there's not any parts in here. Any of the plastic parts can't really be swapped out. Like, you can't take parts from this and put it into the Gecko. There's nothing that is the same. I mean, they are completely different things. The Gecko is forward prime, so you prime up here. Like I said earlier, this FireRat is a rear prime, where you pinch these two lock things, pull it back, and it automatically slaps forward. I know that's a mod that you can get for the Gecko, but stock, like just when you get a standard Gecko, it doesn't have that. So that's worth pointing out for the FireRat. Another big difference, obviously, is the magazines. This takes angled talons, this takes proprietary mag. Something I absolutely love about the FireRat is when you fire your last shot and then you go back to prime, it will stay open, signifying that you're out. And if we take a magazine that's loaded up, slap it in there, and then hit this, now we're loaded. Really cool. And you don't really get that with the Gecko. If we look at the overall size comparison, the Gecko is a longer blaster, and it looks like the width is about the same, but definitely the Gecko has more mass to it and is much heavier. My Gecko right here has been modified with various parts. I got some Fetwurst barrel here. These are all 3D printed parts. I think it's a hardware kit I got from Silver Fox Industries. This blaster is hitting around 130 FPS, but if we look at the overall price point, we're looking at over 200 bucks here. We're looking at about $250 right here versus this, which is like a fraction of that. I think this is around 100. I'll put links in the description for how much these are and where you can get one, but it is significantly cheaper than a Gecko. The other thing worth mentioning is the build quality. This quality feels great. The texture of this blaster kind of has a matte finish, feels really good in the hands. Oh, it's just so comfortable, very comfortable blaster. Basically, I'm just a very big fan of this thing. I want to see more stuff by this company, and speaking of which, let me grab the box because I'm not even going to begin to say this name. There is the company that makes this, and like I said earlier, this was sent to me by Zenduo Toys, which I'll have a link in the description. But I would like to see more from this company. So, final thoughts. Do I recommend the FireRat or the S200? I would say yes. I think this is a great blaster. I think this thing is really cool. Do I think this is a Gecko ripoff? No, it is not. Do I think it has inspirations from or is similarities to a Gecko? Yes, of course. But I don't think it's infringing on anyone's IP or anything. So, big fan of this thing. Kind of want to get another one. You know, this one was sent to me for free, but at this point, it's like I could almost go for another one and then possibly, you know, the whole metal internal thing and a spring upgrade. Like, yeah, it's got me really thinking because this thing is really nice. So, yeah, that's my final thoughts. I want to thank you for watching today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, happy foam flinging. Slam fire.